America, a land of prosperity and opportunity, boasts a national wealth that ranks among the highest in the world. Yet, a curious disconnect exists between this wealth and the perception of financial well-being among its citizens. While the nation's coffers grow, many Americans find themselves grappling with financial challenges, unable to align their personal economic realities with the country's affluence. But why does this disconnect exist? Is it a reflection of economic policies, cultural attitudes, or a more complex interplay of factors? This video seeks to explore the intriguing question of why America's national wealth does not mirror the financial experiences of its people. It's a question that opens doors to understanding the nuances of wealth distribution, government control, consumer behavior, and the very essence of the American dream: the perception of wealth and economic inequality. Economic inequality in the U.S. is a rising concern, with the Gini coefficient standing at 0.494 in 2021. This inequality extends to wealth, with the richest 1% owning 34.9% of the country's wealth. The disparity is even more pronounced in the U.S. than in other industrial nations like Germany or the U.K. The perception of wealth is often skewed by media portrayals and societal norms that emphasize success and material possessions. The desire to achieve and flaunt wealth leads to a culture where the appearance of prosperity is valued over financial stability. This perception is further fueled by the accessibility of credit and the ease of living beyond one's means. The gap between the rich and the poor is widening, and the middle class is shrinking. The chances of social upheaval increase as inequality grows. History tells us that a state's failure to redress rampant inequality can result in a bloody revolution. Inequality tends to be greater in developing countries, but the exception is the United States. The inequality picture is even worse when looking beyond income to wealth. The disparity is greater in the U.S. than in other industrial nations, such as Germany, where the richest 1% own 18.6% of the wealth, or in the UK, where they own 22.6%. A Credit Suisse report finds that nearly half of global household wealth is in the hands of just 1.2% of the world's population. These individuals control a staggering $221.7 trillion. At the bottom of the pyramid, 2.8 billion people share a combined wealth of $5 trillion, representing only 1.1% of the global wealth total. Government roles and debt control. While it is essentially a no-brainer, government policies play a crucial role in shaping the economic landscape. Taxation policies, social welfare programs, and fiscal regulations can either bridge the wealth gap or widen it. The federal government's responsibility to reducing economic inequality is acknowledged by many Americans, but the trust in the government to effectively address this issue remains low. The government's control through debt is a complex issue that intertwines with the nation's economic policies. The national debt, which has been on the rise, impacts the government's ability to invest in social programs and infrastructure. This, in turn, affects the overall economic growth and the distribution of wealth among citizens. The influence of political lobbying and corporate interest further complicates the government's role in managing wealth distribution. Policies that favor the wealthy can exacerbate inequality, leading to a cycle where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. This is why the government's ability to control debt and implement effective fiscal policies is essential for creating a more equitable society. However, political polarization and the influence of special interest groups often hinder the implementation of policies that would benefit the broader population. The culture of flaunting wealth. Americans and luxury go hand in hand. The American dream, after all, often translates into a desire for material success. Luxury cars, extravagant homes, and even horses become symbols of status. Despite the average American having only $65,000 in personal savings, the desire to flaunt wealth leads to reliance on banks and credit systems. This culture of living beyond means creates a facade that masks the real financial struggles many face. The culture of flaunting wealth is not just a superficial issue. It has deep-rooted psychological and societal implications. The pressure to conform to societal standards of success leads to a cycle of consumption and debt. The desire to keep up with the Joneses drives individuals to make financial decisions that may not be in their best interest. The media and advertising industries plays a significant role in shaping this culture. The constant bombardment of images and messages promoting luxury and extravagance creates a perception that these are attainable and desirable goals. This fuels a consumerist mentality, where self-worth is often tied to material possessions. The impact of this culture extends beyond individual financial well-being. It affects social dynamics, creating a division and resentment between different economic classes. The emphasis on material success also distracts from other values such as community, empathy, and environmental responsibility. Cost of living and global disparity. With an average cost of living amounting to approximately $50,000 per year, the financial strain on the middle class is palpable. As already pointed out, the disparity in price between America and other countries further complicates the issue. Globalization and technological changes have shifted economic dynamics, but ground-level realities such as access to healthcare, education, and crime in neighborhoods affected economic mobility. The cost of living in the U.S. varies widely across states and cities. Factors such as housing, transportation, healthcare, and education contribute to the overall cost. The disparity in wages and the availability of opportunities further exacerbate the challenges faced by many Americans. The global disparity in prices and economic conditions creates a complex web of interactions that impact the U.S. economy. Trade policies, currency exchange rates, and international regulations play a role in shaping the economic landscape. The U.S. economy is intertwined with global markets, and fluctuations in international economies can have ripple effects on domestic conditions. The racial wealth gap. To fuel the fire, there are also systemic inequalities and barriers. The gap between Black and white family home ownership has grown to 30% in 2022. Black applicants are 1.8 times more likely to be denied a mortgage than white applicants. The Black-white income gap has persisted and grown since 1970, highlighting the deeply entrenched sources of inequality. The racial wealth gap is not just a result of individual choices or circumstances. It is rooted in historical injustices, discriminatory policies, and systemic biases that have perpetuated inequality over generations. From housing discrimination to unequal access to education and employment opportunities, people of color face barriers that hinder their ability to build wealth. The impact of the racial wealth gap extends beyond individual financial well-being. It affects communities, perpetuates social divisions, and hinders overall economic growth. Addressing the racial wealth gap requires a comprehensive approach that includes policy changes, community investment, and a commitment to addressing the underlying cause of inequality. Having understood all of these things, it's easy to see why America's national wealth does not align with the perception of its citizens' financial well-being. The American dream, once a beacon of hope and opportunity, now seems to flicker with uncertainty. It's time to rekindle that flame, not with the glitter of material wealth, but with a renewed commitment to fairness, empathy, and the shared values that bind us as a nation. Also, the alignment of wealth and well-being may not be a question of economics altogether, but a matter of the heart and soul of America. It's a conversation that transcends numbers and invites us to redefine our dreams, our goals, and ultimately ourselves. What is your opinion of all this? We would love to know in the comments below. This also brings us to the end of this video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. See you next time.